This is the best winter we've ever had.
You said it.
I'm ready for the longest, coldest winter ever.
Bring it on!
Spring?
先輩
Ladies and neckbeards, it looks like it's time for another seasonal anime video. So I'm sure almost everyone agrees that the winter season was really dope. But after getting to watch some of this spring season, I was like to fuck with winter. This season has many dope, brand spanking new shows I want to cover. But first, I'd like to get all of the notable sequels out of the way because frankly, well, I don't want to work on a video that's longer than 20 minutes. In its 5th season's premiere episode, My Hero Academia once again felt the need to create even more obvious character introductions, making us feel like we're all brainless apes. The remake of Fruits Basket is down to its final season, but I've never watched that series because I'm a degenerate, I guess. Additionally, Moriarty the Patriot is back. The manager in the 2nd season of Zombieland Saga decided to cosplay Hobo Eren Yeager, and the Fairy Tail franchise now seems to think it's a Studio Trigger series or something. Shit's wild, and we haven't even truly gotten started yet.
ひげあんまり似合ってないよ
余計なお世話でやっぱり剃るか
Despite this anime having a premise that points towards it being awkward and trashy, I found it surprisingly wholesome. It revolves around the everyday lives of 26-year-old businessman Yoshida and Sayu, a runaway high school girl. Late at night, Yoshida initially stumbles upon Sayu on the side of the road while her panties are catching a whiff of the midnight breeze. She initially offers to sleep with Yoshida for a place to stay, but he rejects her seduction and takes her in anyways due to his caring nature. So far I've found the interaction between the two of them great, and I think Sayu has the potential to be best girl of the season. Who'd have thought that one of the most wholesome shows this season would be the one about an adult male keeping a high school girl cooped up in his apartment? This is furthered by the fact that Yoshida continues to reject any of Sayu's sexual advances, as he prefers to treat her like a daughter instead, and tries to assist her with her family issues. After the first nights of getting to know each other, Sayu then convinces Yoshida to shave. So, come November in this series, you could say he's more of a no-nut November than a no-shave November guy.
あの少年ならば、あの美少年ならば、きっとこういうのだろう。夢を追うことは美しい。だが、夢を諦めることもまた。
Hey, that's some bullshit!
Pretty Boy Detective Club is this season's anime that I can guarantee a certain type of female anime fans will enjoy. Well, normally this isn't my type of show. It's got enough style and charm to keep me somewhat invested, which is mainly due to the skills of Studio Shaft. Alright, how do we make sure everyone understands that this is a Shaft anime? Yeah, that'll do.
休憩にしようか先輩さっきから挙取りまくってますけど
I'm sure when many of you were younger, you knew of or were a part of a situation where one bullies their crush because they're too much of a ditz to properly display their affection. Nagatoro-san is the literal embodiment of that. Constantly agitating her senpai and pushing him into uncomfortable games and scenarios, she's a lot like Uzaki-chan on bath salts, but with a big nerf to the bazingas. Production-wise, I really love the effort this anime is putting into the animation and the facial expressions made prominent in the manga. Even though she's batshit crazy, Nagatoro is very cute and funny, but I just can't help but feel bad for the main dude being constantly blue-balled through her crafty baits. For him, this entire show, man, it's gotta be like one giant Rube Goldberg blue-balled torture machine. But despite all of that and the bullying, it seems like he's starting to crush on Nagatoro. Her method of hostile affection, I think it's working. I love you. I know earlier that I said I was going to get all of the notable sequels out of the way first, but I just had to give the second season of Megalobox, also known as Nomad, a standalone section just because of how goddamn good the series is. If you haven't seen the first season, do yourself a favor and fix that. This season is set 7 years after Gillis Joe participated in Megalonia, the first Megalobox tournament. Various Spanish elements have been added to the series, which feel naturally inserted despite not existing in Season 1. It's shaping up to be much more dark and grueling than the first season, dealing with themes such as opioid addiction, racism, and isolation. But most importantly, I got a $20 bet down that Joe loses his boxing match to Nagatoro. I think I'm gonna write a new manga. Alright. How can I make sure that everyone understands that I'm the one who made it? Yeah, that'll do. And combatants will be dispatched. Combat Agent 6 is sent by an underground organization to conquer an Earth-like planet. Just like in Konosuba, Agent 6 becomes grouped with some completely insane misfits. There's Snow, a whiny knight with big bazingas who's obsessed with money and fame, Alice, a bossy and blunt robot lolly, Grim, an evil god-worshipping and wannabe slut who uses a wheelchair because she suffers from a curse that prevents her from wearing shoes. And lastly, the Chunibyo known as Rose, who I don't even know what's going on here. It looks like someone's daughter accidentally slipped into the machinery at a Build-A-Bear workshop. While the show hasn't reached the humor levels Konosuba did for me, it still has a fair amount of moments that have made me laugh out loud. Meanwhile, the ridiculousness of the characters are quite amusing.
Coming in at number 35, Crazy Texas. And coming in at number 34, Crazy Texas.
One thing I really appreciate about anime is its ability to teach my 3 brain cells so many different things. This season it was burning Kabati, which informed me on the ancient Indian sport known as Kabati. The main gist of the sport is 2 opposing teams that each have a raider. The raider must attempt to enter the other team's half of the court and tag as many opponents as they can before returning to their own half of the court. However, they must do this in a single breath, so they keep repeating the word Kabati during their raid to make this more noticeable. All the while, the defenders are free to tackle and hold them down to make it harder for them to hold their breath. Because I'm an uncultured swine, I wasn't even aware that this sport is apparently huge over in Indian areas, and that it's the national sport of Bangladesh. It also feels refreshing that the MC of a sports anime acts like a total edgelord.
So this anime is called Burning Kabati, huh? Well, thank God Kiyoani isn't making it.
Okay, if you still haven't exited the video, next anime. Fucking isekai titles, man. This one has definitely been one of the most wholesome and slice-of-life-ish isekai series that I've personally seen. I think this could still be quite palatable to those that are quite sick of the genre. I'd say it's a lot like Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, but in another world. It follows the main character Asaza, who tries to hide her strength as well. Well, the title already needs to tell you all you need to know for that. She wants to continue her peaceful lifestyle, as she spent her previous life getting completely overworked at her job, to the point where it was, well, literally the cause of her death and reincarnation. This video has been sponsored by Amazon. From one world to another.
結構いろんな男子に声かけてるらしくて。
そんな感じの人？
呼び出しては放置？スポカス的な。
Wait, that just sounds like she has a fetish for ghosting people. Excuse me for just 1 second. Set in the same universe as SSSS Gridman, SSSS Dynazenon is Trigger's latest anime original. Triggerman. As usual, my brain's a tad lost, but their ability to keep me engaged with their over-the-top ridiculousness is highlighted through the fluently animated kaiju fights that are balls to the walls entertaining. On top of that, the dialogue seems to be really well scripted. Alright, what else can we do to make sure everyone understands this is a Trigger anime?
Oh, Space Spy Episode 3.
Yeah, that'll do. But why though?
You're all set. Where do we go?
The latest anime to bless our ears with the powers of Hiroyuki Sawano is A1 Pictures' adaptation of the highly well-received light novel 86. I don't want to go into too much deep detail with this one, as it utilizes the show don't tell approach very effectively, so I think it's highly worth piecing things together on your own. However, I will say that being an extremely anti-war person myself, so far the anime has done a hella stellar job displaying the tragedies of war and mirroring certain corruption in the world. I've even read that the author herself was inspired by the recent drone strikes of the United States on the Middle East. I wonder if they have to say Kabati when invading another country's territory. Additionally, the surprisingly well-made CGI of the advanced machinery and weaponry during the breathtaking battle sequences, the character interactions, and the overall production value seem to all be piecing together to craft one hell of a gem. One final thing that I found really interesting is that the detailed fictional society of San Magnolia is dominated by the Selena, a noble race of people who only have silver hair, who are racist towards anyone with a different hair color. Gee, I wonder what caused that. The best way that I could probably describe Tokyo Revengers is that it's like Erased, but with gangsters. Well, basically, the main character Takamichi, who is sick of what his life has become, learns that his girlfriend in middle school was somehow murdered by someone in the ruthless Tokyo Manji gang. Soon after, he finds himself transported back in time to 2005 when he was in middle school, in which almost every middle schooler looks like they were the cause for MCR's hit song, Teenagers. This is also when Takamichi and his friends were getting themselves caught up in unfortunate gang business. Vehemently, Takamichi decides to twist this unexpected scenario into an attempt to infiltrate the Tokyo Manji gang so that he can find out the proper path he needs to take to save his girlfriend. Additionally, it really seems like he's trying to turn his life around, which I've personally found very inspirational, as I'm finding a lot of parallels between his present life and mine. I too wish I could get hit by a train. From the writer of A Silent Voice comes To Your Eternity, the story about a higher being casting a mysterious orb upon the earth to examine the results. The orb can transform into an immortal form of various things, such as a rock, a wolf, or even a human boy. This is done from the orb receiving stimulation, such as something dying in front of it. After taking the form of a boy, who is now essentially an empty walking shell, the story follows his journey around the world, where he seems to be learning how to actually be human. While I do wish a series like this would have gone to a more top-tier animation studio, I think it's decently making up for that. The different stories that the anime tells are rich, with well-written characters from different walks of life. I'm really digging the execution of the narration as well. Everything just feels so real, and I think this anime is going to have a lot to say. It's heavily reminding me of Dororo, so there's another reason to watch this one. Even after just 3 episodes, it absolutely feels like this season's emotional roller coaster. Even as a fan of isekai, I've grown tired of the genre, crapping out so many generic Kirito clones. It's gotten to the point that, well, they aren't exactly making an effort to hide it anymore either. Alright, how do we make sure everyone realizes this isn't Kirito? Yeah, that'll do, I guess. I'll be honest though, despite my initial pessimism, this one actually surprised me. In some ways it's conceptually got some clever ideas. It's an obvious yet humorous parody of many isekai tropes, as the game world it utilizes is an outdated, underplayed RPG that was designed in every way to be painfully realistic as possible. Well, except for those. Oh boy, is that another high school rom-com? Let's see, what's the full title for this one? I'm liking this one. It's a decent premise, but I'm also rom-com trash, so take that as you will.
Kenny? I know you're both expert, but please make sure you not only find out, but also record as much as possible about his potential customer needs.
All I could think about during this anime was how much I just want to pummel the shit out of this guy.
Hey, lady, wait. Ooh, lady, hey, lady, let's go to space. In space system. I'm going to space, Jill. Dad, I'm in space.
This trip to an AI-run space hotel is just one minuscule part in the futuristic world of Vivy, Fluorite Ice Song, which, yes, here it is, my anime of the season so far. I found it excellent at guiding my eyes through an Earth that's ingrained with AIs and advanced technology. It initially wasn't even on my radar, but that quickly changed after I discovered that it's written by the creator of ReZero and produced by Wit Studio. And man, does this series really show that Wit, they literally never miss. The anime revolves around the idol Vivy, the world's first autonomous android, who is trying to prevent a disastrous war between humanity and AIs, which she learns about from another AI that was sent from the future. Vivy comes across a lot like Violet Evergarden, but with a bit more emotion. I absolutely adore the detail they've put into her robot features and the close-ups of her facial features and reactions. That detail is also shared with the various forms of advanced technology throughout the society, which really makes it feel like a unique futuristic world. Like, oh my god, there's even edible spray paint. Oh, please tell me there's an easy cheese version of this.
Don't like space.
So those were my thoughts and impressions on many of the spring season's anime. Yes, I really do think this season is on pace to top the winter season in my eyes. While winter 2021 was rich with prominent sequels, spring is heavily loaded with some top-notch brand new series, and personally I think that makes a difference. It also feels more well-rounded as, well, winter. Yeah. But damn, if we put the two together, 2021 is already shaping up to be insane, and it could end up going down as one of the best years for anime ever, I think. That's an awesome payback for all of us weebs who have been rat-fucked by the pandemic for the past year. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this seasonal video. I'm your host, MyCatHatesYou69, and I gotta go shave to wholesomely take in a high school runaway. But most importantly, don't forget to watch Vivy, you fucking animals.
だって私を置いていっちゃうんだもん。だってスバルは戻ってきてくれたもん。ずーっと信じてた。